The cabin was calm, until Claudia Merritt, 32, tall, pale-skinned, sharp-featured daughter of Apex Air's CEO, stepped into the aisle and froze. Then her voice sliced the air like broken glass. "Absolutely not. No, no way. What is that doing in my seat?" Heads jerked up. Cameras turned. A few passengers actually recoiled, as if Claudia had spotted a wild animal where a human should be. In 4A sat Alana Pierce, 23, dark-skinned, hoodie, worn sneakers, soft-spoken brilliance wrapped in simplicity. A secret billionaire who built software empires before 20. A quiet storm disguised as a girl who looked like she was heading to a library, not first class. Alana lifted her eyes. Claudia's lip curled. Unbelievable. I step on my plane for 2 minutes, and someone like you is already squatting in my seat. The words "someone like you" landed like stones. Racist, classist, sharpened to cut. The aisle tension thickened. Alana blinked. Calm, polite. There must be a misunderstanding. My boarding pass says... Claudia barked a laugh so loud passengers jumped. A misunderstanding? No, sweetheart. The only misunderstanding is you thinking you belong up here. She waved at Alana's clothes mockingly. Look at you. Hoodie? Bargain bin shoes? You look like you crawled out of coach just to take photos for your social media. Look, everyone, I touched first class. A few passengers murmured discomfort. Claudia stepped closer, voice dripping venom. Let me help you with reality. People dressed like... That don't sit in premium cabins. You don't blend in. You're not subtle. You stick out like a misplaced delivery package. Alana straightened slightly. My ticket. Oh, please. Claudia's eyes narrowed to slits. You probably scanned someone else's code, or flashed a smile at some clueless gate agent. Don't lie. People like you always try to sneak into places that weren't made for you. Gasps. Phones rose higher. The flight attendant rushed up, flustered. Oh, Ms. Merritt, welcome. We'll sort this out. Claudia tossed her hair. Yes, sort it out, because I'm not sitting next to... She waved her hand toward Alana like shooing a pest. This walking downgrade. Alana inhaled sharply. Claudia smirked. What? You going to pretend you earned that seat? First class costs more than whatever you make in a quarter. The attendant turned awkwardly to Alana. Ma'am, can I see your boarding pass again? Claudia rolled her eyes so hard her entire head moved. You're wasting time. Don't embarrass yourselves. She doesn't belong here. Look at her. She's clearly out of place. She let out of place carry every historical, racial, social wound she wanted to weaponize. Alana's fingers tightened around her pass. It says 4A. Claudia leaned in, smile venomous. And I say, get up. This cabin is for paying passengers, not surprises. A man in row 2 muttered, This is messed up. Claudia heard him and snarled, Oh, please, spare me the performative outrage. If she belonged here, she wouldn't be trembling like she's waiting for security to drag her off. Her voice grew louder, theatrically loud. You know what? This feels just like the time someone climbed over the business class curtain to take photos. Same energy, same desperation. A couple near the galley cringed. Claudia pointed at Alana with open disgust. Why can't people just stay in the sections designed for them? That line hit like a racial grenade. Alana's jaw twitched, but she didn't rise to the bait. Claudia took advantage. Oh, look, she's silent. Maybe she finally realized premium cabins are not some diversity charity. She leaned even closer, whispering but ensuring everyone could hear. You should be grateful I'm not calling security. Usually when someone from Coach slips up here, it ends badly. The cabin went silent, cold, ugly. Then Claudia delivered her final dagger. My father is Raymond Merritt, Apex Air, and believe me, everyone in this industry knows who actually belongs in these seats. The attendant's eyes widened. Apex Air royalty, the rival airline's elite bloodline. That name rattled the crew. Ma'am, the attendant said to Alana, voice small now, I'm afraid you'll have to move. Immediately. Passengers gasped. Someone whispered, She's really doing this. Claudia smirked triumphantly. Good. Let's restore the cabin to its proper order. Alana felt humiliation tighten around her throat. A deep sting, racial, systemic, targeted. She reached into her pocket and touched the folded note her mother once gave her. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, for the Lord your God goes with you. Deuteronomy 31:6. Strength didn't roar, it whispered. Alana rose. Claudia exhaled theatrically. Finally, knew you'd figure out your level. Every step down the aisle scorched. Every stare felt like judgment. Every whisper felt like confirmation of Claudia's lie. Claudia slid into the stolen seat, sighing luxuriously. She pulled out her phone, typed a message to her father's PR strategist. Phase 1 complete. Target humiliated on camera. Footage uploading. The war had begun, and Alana had no idea yet, but she was about to win it. If you have ever been forced to shrink yourself, mistreated because of how you look, or pushed out of a place you rightfully belonged, then what happens next with Alana will make you rise up. Don't forget to like and subscribe and stay with Dignity Voices to follow the rest of this story. But Alana Pierce didn't walk to the back to surrender. She walked back there to activate the protocol that would ground the entire flight. The aisle felt longer than any runway Alana had ever walked. Every step from 4A toward the back burned. Humiliation, disbelief, a cold, trembling fury she kept, buried under controlled breath. Phones recorded her like she was a spectacle. A woman in 3C whispered just loud enough, "See? Happens when people pretend to be what they're not." A man across the aisle murmured, "Should have known she wasn't first-class material." The words cut harder because they weren't aimed at her as an individual. They attacked everything she represented. Alana kept her chin steady. She wasn't going to give Claudia the meltdown she wanted. From her newly stolen throne in 4A, Claudia leaned toward the flight attendant and spoke in a hushed voice made intentionally audible. Just keep an eye on her. People like that get emotional when confronted. Last thing we need is her causing a scene and claiming she's being targeted. The attendant nodded, already absorbing the poison. Claudia smirked. Step 2 of her plan, shape the narrative. She's been causing issues with airlines lately, Claudia continued. Always stirring up trouble, always playing the victim. Classic behavior. A businessman overheard and whispered, "Oh, one of those." Exactly, Claudia said sweetly. This is what happens when companies let the wrong people into premium spaces. It creates chaos. Passengers nodded, some subtly, some openly. The bias Claudia planted began spreading like wildfire. A mother in row 22 pulled her child closer as Alana approached, as if Alana were a problem, not a victim. Seat 28C, a tight middle seat, waited like a punishment. A teenage boy filming whispered, "She got kicked out of first class. Yo, that's crazy." Another snickered. "She looked like she tried to sneak in." Alana sat, breath quivering, eyes lowered. She felt the sting, the shame, even though she had done absolutely nothing wrong. Her phone buzzed. A news alert. Trending clip. Girl caught lying about first-class seat. Already, Claudia's influence was working. The caption read, "Entitled girl refuses to move. Plays victim when caught." 30 seconds. And the internet had begun to turn. Claudia wasn't just trying to embarrass her. She was trying to destroy her reputation before the SkyVista negotiations. Alana clenched her jaw. The woman sitting beside her, middle-aged, brown-skinned, quiet, leaned in. "I saw everything," she whispered. "I filmed it. And I know exactly who that woman is. She did it on purpose." Alana blinked. "On purpose?" "Oh yes," the woman said. "I work aviation operations. Apex Air's CEO, Claudia's father, they've been terrified of the young investor SkyVista's courting." Her eyes softened. "I didn't know it was you." Alana looked up sharply. "You recognize me?" She nodded. I read that magazine profile. The secret black billionaire changing the future of travel. That's you, right? A flush hit Alana's cheeks. She never liked attention. She especially hated it now. Yes, Alana whispered. The woman pressed her hand briefly. You didn't deserve any of this, and you're not alone. A small spark lit in Alana's chest. Hope, not loud, but present. Alana unlocked her phone. The screen displayed a single app icon. P-Lock, Pierce Protocol, activated. Her legal team received an instant alert. Within 30 seconds, they began pulling. Passenger videos, passenger manifests, crew assignments, upgrade, downgrade history, Claudia's travel logs, Claudia's social media footprint, public footage of the humiliation. Then her team saw something alarming. Claudia had accessed Alana's travel itinerary earlier that morning. This wasn't a random encounter. This was industrial sabotage. Across the world in her firm's LA headquarters, a compliance director stood and barked, "Flag everything! This isn't a passenger disagreement. This is targeted harassment from a rival airline's family." Exactly what Alana needed. Up front, Claudia lifted a champagne flute, smiling as a flight attendant refilled it. "Oh, thank you. I just need calm after that incident." You saw her, right? The attitude, the entitlement? She practically lunged at me. The attendant frowned, confused. "That's not what I saw." "Well, that's what happened," Claudia snapped. "And I have footage. If she tries to twist this, I'm ready." She opened her phone subtly, showing a draft email titled, "Incident Report. Unstable passenger in 4A attempted aggressive confrontation." The flight attendant swallowed. Claudia leaned back, victorious. In the back, Alana closed her eyes. She didn't cry, not yet, but her heart felt heavy, thick. Why was she always expected to be calm, composed, graceful, patient, even while being humiliated? Why did the world always treat black women like they were too much when they asked for too little? Her phone buzzed. A message from her lead attorney. "We have everything we need. Do not react. We're building the entire timeline." Another message. "Claudia Merritt is your rival's daughter, and she did this deliberately." And one more. "Stay steady. Your endurance will win this." Alana reached into her pocket and touched the small folded card. Her mother's handwriting, her childhood anchor. "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, for the Lord your God goes with you." Deuteronomy 31:6. The words didn't heal the pain, but they kept her from drowning in it. Strength whispered, "Courage is not loud. It's steady, quiet, relentless." And Alana Pierce was not done, not by a long shot. The airplane hummed softly as it taxied toward the runway, but inside, the atmosphere vibrated with something sharper, a storm waiting for ignition. Claudia lounged in stolen luxury, sipping champagne with a smug expression so wide it could have been part of the cabin decor. Alana sat trapped in 28C, surrounded by whispers and tilted lenses. She looked calm, still, silent. But inside her phone, the war had already begun. At her headquarters in Los Angeles, the security wall lit up with red streaks, each one a data trail connected to Alana's alert. 3 members of her compliance team rushed to the center table. "Pull passenger videos, every angle. Track who uploaded the first clip. Flag Apex Air employee connections. And identify that woman in 4A." Within minutes, Claudia's identity flashed on screen. Claudia Merritt, 32 daughter of Raymond Merritt, CEO of Apex Air prior incidents. 7 sealed, 3 settled, 2 removed by legal pressure behavioral pattern. Entitlement, racial profiling, status manipulation. Red flag, accessed Alana Pierce's flight itinerary this morning at 8:14 a.m. The room froze. "This wasn't an outburst," a senior analyst whispered. "This was planned." They tightened the digital net. "Run a comparative log," the director ordered. "Find every incident involving seating disputes where Claudia Merritt or Apex Air affiliates were present." Lines of data surfaced, ugly, undeniable. 3 first-class seat thefts involving black passengers, 2 high-profile downgrades of women of color, 1 forcibly removed passenger whose story never saw daylight, and now Alana. This wasn't just malice. It was a pattern, a weapon, and Claudia wielded it with corporate precision. Alana's phone buzzed. Her chief counsel, Darius, sent a message. "We've confirmed. Claudia accessed your itinerary this morning. This was targeted harassment, intentional documented." A second message followed. "We've also found Apex Air PR teams in Claudia's email drafts. She's been coordinating smear campaigns." Alana exhaled slowly, her heart tightening. So Claudia didn't just want her humiliated, she wanted her reputation destroyed. Before the SkyVista meeting, before the billion-dollar deal, a preemptive strike, a corporate assassination attempt disguised as elitist racism. Up front, Claudia continued her whisper tour. She leaned toward a businessman, voice dipped in poison. "You didn't see how she acted before you boarded. It was embarrassing. Trying to convince people she belonged up here? Pathetic." The man nodded. She moved to another passenger, and when I confronted her, she started shaking, like she knew she'd been caught. People like her always get defensive when they're exposed. Passengers absorbed it. Some believed her instantly. Bias made Claudia's story stick like glue. A young woman filmed Claudia in secret. She whispered, "She's twisting everything. I saw the whole thing. That black girl didn't do a thing wrong." Her boyfriend nudged her. "You should post it." She shook her head. "No, not yet. I need to be sure it helps." Back at HQ, Darius opened a private feed linking to the flight's Wi-Fi logs. "Pull Claudia's uploads." A tech engineer nodded. "On it." She's already sent clips to a secure cloud titled AP Meltdown. Use if needed. She planned this. More data red flags exploded. "Check this out," another analyst called out. Here, pattern of Claudia, provoking incidents with passengers of color. Always on flights connected to SkyVista hubs. The compliance director ran a hand through her hair. She's acting like an unofficial Apex Air saboteur. Her father must know. Oh, he definitely knows. Screens filled with proof, patterns, motives. The truth was building a case sharper than any blade Claudia could wield. Alana stared at the growing stream of messages. Proof, evidence, patterns, truth. She should have felt vindicated. Instead, her chest tightened with a familiar ache, one from childhood, from years of being underestimated, dismissed, disrespected. Her throat stung. She opened her palm, revealing the folded card her mother wrote years ago. "The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." Exodus 14:14. Stillness wasn't weakness. Stillness was strategy. Stillness was power. And right now, she needed all three. Her fingers shook slightly, but her resolve? Unbreakable. In the galley, 2 attendants whispered, "Did you see her boarding pass? It really said 4A. "So why did we move her?" "Because of the Merritt name," the senior whispered anxiously. "Claudia's father has sued or threatened every airline on the map. Nobody wants trouble with them." "But what if we made a mistake?" "What do you mean, what if? We did." They shared a long, guilty silence. Then it happened. The plane jolted, not physically, but procedurally. The captain's tablet beeped with a red banner. "Priority alert. Potential civil rights violation flagged by compliance. Passenger, Alana Pierce. Status, VIP investor." The captain stiffened. "Is this accurate?" His first officer scanned the data. "Oh my God," he whispered. "That young woman they moved? That was Alana Pierce?" The captain stood. "We need to stop this flight. But we're already taxiing." "Then we taxi back." He made the announcement. "Ladies and gentlemen, we have been instructed to pause our departure and return to the gate for an operational review." Passengers groaned. Claudia froze. For the first time all day, her face cracked. Alana felt the plane slow. She met the eyes of the woman beside her. "Something's happening," the woman whispered. Alana didn't respond. She didn't need to. Her phone buzzed again. "Darius, everything is falling into place. They've identified you. Stand firm. Your endurance will pay off." The verse echoed in her mind. "The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." Claudia had planned humiliation, but the data, the system, and the truth were about to turn her trap into her downfall. And this was only the beginning. If you've ever been underestimated or targeted because someone feared your potential, then what happens next with Alana will make your heart race. Don't forget to like and subscribe and stay with Dignity Voices to follow every twist of this battle. Because when the plane returned to the gate, Claudia Merritt finally realized she wasn't the hunter. She was the prey. The aircraft shuddered gently as it veered away from the runway lights. Passengers exchanged puzzled looks, frustrated huffs, confused whispers. Claudia's champagne flute trembled slightly in her hand. What is happening?" she snapped at the attendant. "Why are we turning? We were about to take off." The attendant swallowed. I'm not sure, Ms. Merritt. The captain said we received an operational flag." Claudia scoffed. "Operational? Please! This airline barely knows how to spell operational." But her eyes twitched. Something felt wrong. Inside the cockpit, the captain and first officer were tense. The red banner alert still glowed on the captain's tablet. "Potential civil rights violation. Review required. Passenger, Alana Pierce investor. Status, high priority, confidential instruction. Return to gate. Secure passenger safety." The captain exhaled. "I don't care whose daughter she is. This is bigger than a spoiled passenger pushing her weight around. If we take off without reviewing this, we could lose our licenses." The first officer nodded. And if the report is accurate, the crew moved a VIP investor out of her rightful seat. "Not just VIP," the captain muttered. "She's rumored to be the silent investor SkyVista depends on for the upcoming fleet expansion. And now she's been humiliated. On our watch." The captain hit the PA button. "Ladies and gentlemen, for safety and compliance reasons, we have been instructed to return to the gate. Please remain seated." Claudia's face paled. Just a flicker, but enough to betray panic beneath her polished exterior. "Return to the gate?" she muttered. No. No. That can't be because of..." She caught herself. The attendant was staring. Passengers were whispering again. This time not about Alana, but about the sudden change. A businessman frowned. This flight seemed fine. Something serious must have happened. Claudia's jaw tightened. She forced a shallow laugh. "Oh, please. This airline overreacts to everything. Probably a malfunction." "Not surprising," she said, but her voice tremored. She lifted her phone, typing frantically. "Phase 2 compromised. They're grounding the plane." Response from her father's PR strategist came seconds later. "What happened? Did she react? Did you get footage of her being aggressive?" Claudia's breath hitched. She typed, "No, she didn't take the bait." A furious reply appeared. "Then why is the flight being stopped?" Claudia didn't have an answer. As the plane taxied back toward the gate, every muscle in Alana's body remained locked in quiet strength. People kept glancing at her now, curiosity replacing condescension. A man across the aisle whispered to his wife, "She didn't do anything. I saw the whole thing." Another passenger muttered, "If this is because of that woman in first class, she should be ashamed." The shift was subtle but powerful. Alana's phone buzzed again. "Darius, Chief Counsel. Captain has been notified. Executive team en route to gate. Do not engage. Your silence is your strength." She inhaled slowly. She didn't need to fight with fists. The truth was already doing the work. In the first-class galley, two attendants exchanged panicked whispers. "Did you hear the name? Pierce. That was Alana Pierce we moved." "Oh, God. I thought that was just a rumor." "She's the one SkyVista has been courting for that huge investment package. We might lose our jobs. We might lose the airline." Their fear was palpable. Word was spreading fast. One attendant glanced toward Foray. Claudia sat rigid, eyes darting like a cornered predator. She knew exactly what she was doing, the younger attendant whispered. She used her father's name to intimidate us. And we fell for it, the senior whispered. And now the airline will pay for it. The aircraft slowed near the terminal, the illuminated gate number glowing like a spotlight on guilt. Passengers leaned toward the windows. Security personnel were lined up outside. Behind them, 4 executives in suits. Claudia's breath hitched again. No, she whispered. This isn't about me. It can't be. Her denial cracked. Her phone buzzed with another message. Father, why is SkyVista Corporate calling me? What did you do on that plane? Claudia's heart pounded. She typed back shakily. Nothing. I only put someone back where they belonged. Her father's reply came instantly. Claudia, who? She froze. Before she could respond, the plane door opened. 4 executives boarded, uniformed, stern, clearly shaken. Passengers sat straighter. Tension snapped through the cabin like a current. A tall woman in a navy suit scanned the rows. Her eyes landed on Claudia first. Claudia smirked automatically. Finally, someone competent. This airline should be thanking me for keeping order. But the executive walked right past her, didn't even glance, didn't even slow. Instead, she stopped in front of row 28, in front of Alana. The entire cabin inhaled at once. Ms. Pierce, the executive said softly, we need to speak with you immediately. Every head swung toward Alana. Every whisper stopped. Even Claudia's breath made no sound. Alana remained seated, poised, the calm center of a corporate hurricane. She lifted her gaze. Yes, she said. I'm ready. Claudia shot to her feet. Wait, what? Her? Why are you talking to her? She's the problem. She stole my seat. She? The executive turned slowly, eyes icy. Ms. Merritt, she said, voice colder than metal. We are fully aware of your identity. Claudia swallowed. And we have substantial evidence, the executive continued, that your actions today were deliberate, targeted, and in violation of multiple federal aviation regulations. Passengers gasped. Phones rose again. Claudia's face drained of color. My actions? Mine? She doesn't belong in first class. She? The executive cut her off sharply. The only thing she didn't belong in, she said, was your scheme. Claudia's knees nearly buckled. The moment Alana stepped off the aircraft, the night air struck her face like a baptism of cold clarity. Blue beacon lights blinked across the tarmac. Emergency vehicles idled nearby. SkyVista executives formed a rigid line at the bottom of the jet bridge, their posture tight, their expressions shaken. Passengers inside the aircraft pressed against the windows like witnesses at a historic execution. Claudia Merritt was escorted out seconds later, no longer gliding with smug entitlement, but stumbling, breath short, her composure cracking like old paint. Alana stood still. The wind tugged at her hoodie, her worn sneakers planted firmly. She looked calm, silent, unmoved, but she was not alone. 2 security officers stepped to her side, protective, deferential. One executive, a tall woman named Marissa Vaughn, approached gently. Miss Pierce, thank you for your patience. We understand this experience has been unacceptable. We are here to listen, document, and correct every single violation. Claudia barked a laugh. Document? Correct? She's the one who created the problem. She took my seat. But Marissa raised a hand, silencing her with a razor-thin glare. Ms. Merritt, please refrain from speaking until our compliance team asks you to. Claudia opened her mouth, then closed it. She had never been spoken to like that. Not in public. Not with witnesses. Not with a camera aimed directly at her from the cockpit window. Inside the plane, passengers whispered frantically. That young woman was the investor? So Claudia attacked the wrong person. Serves her right. I hope she gets banned. I've never seen executives come to the tarmac. The tide had turned. Every assumption reversed. Claudia's lies were collapsing under the weight of truth. Marissa cleared her throat. "Ms. Pierce, would you like to make a statement before we proceed?" Alana looked up, not with anger, but with a deep stillness. "Yes," she said softly. Her voice carried across the tarmac, steady and unbroken. "I want everything recorded, every word, every witness, every violation." She paused, "and every action taken to ensure this never happens to another passenger." Even the wind seemed to still. Claudia's eyes widened. "This is ridiculous," she muttered. "What is she even talking about? She shouldn't even be here." Marissa turned toward Claudia. "Ms. Merritt, we have hours of video footage contradicting your claims." Claudia's face froze. "Footage? What footage?" Marissa nodded to two officers. "Passenger video, crew video, cabin recordings, social media uploads." She leaned closer. "And we found your cloud uploads titled AP Meltdown." Claudia stiffened as if slapped. "You went through my cloud? That's illegal." Marissa's lips curved ever so slightly. "No, Ms. Merritt. Security did, because it constitutes evidence in a federal civil rights investigation." Claudia's breath hitched. This is insane." Marissa turned back to Alana. "Ms. Pierce, we will do whatever you request next." Alana inhaled. She thought of her mother again, the years of pushing against bias, the moments she had swallowed humiliation for survival, the rooms she had entered where she was underestimated, dismissed, or treated as invisible. Her hand slipped inside her hoodie pocket. Her fingers brushed the small folded card again, not the one from last time, another verse she kept on the back. "In righteousness you will be established. No weapon formed against you shall prosper." Isaiah 54:17. She closed her eyes briefly. Calm expanded inside her. When she opened them, her voice held steel. "I want an official report filed," she said. "Filed today, in front of those who watched it happen." Marissa nodded immediately. "Done. I want a written apology for the racial and class-based profiling." "Done. I want the cabin crew retrained, permanently, not for show." "Done. And," she added, her tone rising just slightly, "I want a public statement acknowledging your airline's history with discriminatory seating changes." Claudia exploded. "Discriminatory? This isn't about discrimination. This is about her being in the wrong place. She didn't belong in first class, and we all know it." She pointed at Alana like she was pointing at a problem needing removal. "She looks like she was trying to steal something. She looks like—" Her voice cut off as she realized what she was about to say. Too late. Marissa's eyes went glacial. "You may stop talking now, Ms. Merritt." Two security officers stepped closer. Claudia stumbled back. You can't treat me like this. Do you know who I am? My father." Marissa leaned in. "We know exactly who you are, and we know exactly what you and your father attempted today." Her voice grew quieter, colder. "But today, your name does not protect you." Passengers behind the window gasped. Some even applauded faintly against the glass. Claudia whipped around to look at the plane, horrified that the world was watching her unravel. Marissa turned toward her clipboard. "Effective immediately," she announced. "The Merritt family will be flagged for internal review, and all future travel privileges with SkyVista Airlines are suspended pending investigation." Claudia staggered. "You're banning me? You can't do that. I'm the daughter of—" "Exactly," Marissa cut in. "And that is why we are doing it." Claudia's mouth opened, but no sound came out. Marissa turned back to Alana, voice respectful. "Ms. Pierce, is there anything else you request before we escort you to the executive lounge?" Alana looked at Claudia, broken, furious, small. Then she looked past her, toward the plane filled with witnesses, people who had judged her, recorded her, and then watched the truth rise. Her voice came gentle but firm. "Yes," she said. "I want the passengers to know the truth. All of it." Marissa nodded. "We will make the announcement." Claudia choked on air. "You can't—" Marissa silenced her with a raised hand. "You've done enough. If you have ever dreamed of the moment where truth finally stands louder than lies, then what happens next with Alana will make you believe justice still works. Don't forget to like and subscribe and stay with Dignity Voices to follow the next part of this story. Because after the Tarmac confrontation ended, the real negotiations began, behind closed doors. The executive lounge overlooking the grounded aircraft was sterile, bright, and buzzing with nervous energy. A row of senior SkyVista officials stood waiting as Alana entered. Quiet, composed, wrapped in a calm that felt like a storm gathering discipline. Claudia Merritt was escorted in behind her, no longer towering, no longer smug, her hair disheveled, her hands shaking. Her phone had been confiscated for evidence. For the first time, she was disconnected from the weapon she used to control narratives. Alana took a seat at the center table. Executives remained standing. Out of respect, Claudia remained standing because no one offered her a chair. A silent divide formed between them, the woman who had been humiliated and the woman who had orchestrated the humiliation. "Ms. Pierce," began the CEO, a man named Rowan Evers, "on behalf of SkyVista Airlines, I would like to personally apologize for the incident that took place on our aircraft." Claudia snapped, "Incident? You mean I was attacked?" Rowan didn't even look at her. "We deeply regret the discriminatory treatment you endured, and we are fully prepared to compensate you." Alana held up a hand. He froze. This was not a woman who needed money. This was a woman who carried power. She leaned back, eyes cool. "Compensate me? With what exactly?" Rowan swallowed. "Well, we can provide a monetary settlement, lifetime first-class status, exclusive lounge privileges." Claudia rolled her eyes dramatically. "Oh, please, stop kissing up to her. She manipulated the situation." Two security officers stepped closer. "Ms. Merritt," Rowan said sharply, "if you continue interrupting, you will be escorted from the premises." Claudia's jaw dropped. She sat, hard. Alana placed her phone on the table, screen glowing with collected evidence. "Let's make this simple," she began. Her voice was not loud, but every syllable carried weight. "You're not paying me for what happened today. You're paying for what you allowed to happen for years." Executives exchanged glances, uncomfortable, exposed. Alana tapped the screen. "My team found at least 7 incidents involving Claudia Merritt and racially targeted seat disputes on SkyVista-operated flights." The room stiffened. 3 of those were covered up by your previous management. 2 resulted in passengers being forced off flights. 2 never made it into public record. Claudia's eyes widened. "How did you even—" Alana ignored her. "And today," she continued, "your crew bowed to the Merritt name and humiliated me, a paying first-class passenger, because you feared the daughter of your biggest competitor more than you respected one of your own." Rowan swallowed hard. "You are right, Ms. Pierce." "Wrong," Alana replied calmly. "I'm not just right. I'm owed." The room fell silent. Claudia shrank in her seat. Rowan cleared his throat carefully. What would you like us to do?" Alana sat forward. "Write this down." Pens appeared instantly, trembling slightly. 1. Immediate termination review of all crew members involved. Rowan nodded. Done. Claudia let out a small, desperate noise. 2. Mandatory anti-bias training for all frontline staff. Not a one-day seminar. A full certified program, annually required. Done. 3. Public acknowledgement of SkyVista's history with discriminatory seating changes. Executives winced. Claudia smirked weakly. "That will damage the airline?" Alana cut her off with a single glance. Silence. Claudia's cheeks flushed red. Her throat bobbed as she swallowed the humiliation. Rowan exhaled. "We will draft the statement tonight." 4, Alana continued. A new scholarship program under SkyVista, in my mother's name, for young black girls going into aviation and STEM. Rowan nodded again. Done. 5. This airline must ensure that no passenger ever loses their seat due to bias, influence, or pressure. Not again. Not ever. Agreed. She paused. Everyone in the room waited breathlessly. Then she added, and lastly, the Merritt family is to be barred from manipulating SkyVista staff or operations ever again. Claudia stood abruptly. You can't do that. You can't. My father. He'll ruin this airline. Rowan finally turned to her. Your father has already been informed, he said quietly, and he issued one instruction. Claudia froze. Rowan's expression was grave. He told us to proceed exactly as Ms. Pierce requires. Her face drained of all color. Her knees weakened. What? My father said? Rowan nodded slowly. He did. Claudia sank back into her chair, staring at the table as if the world had caved in. Alana lifted her phone, finger tracing another verse her mother had saved on the lock screen. Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. Isaiah 40:31. Her voice softened, but its strength grew. I didn't come here for revenge. I came to make sure no one else experiences what I did today. She looked at Claudia, not with hate, but with a painful, quiet truth. You tried to destroy my reputation, she said gently, but you only revealed your own. Claudia's eyes filled with tears, anger, shame, fear, all collapsing at once. Rowan placed the agreement on the table. This document enforces everything you've requested, Ms. Pierce. If you sign, we will implement each policy immediately. Alana signed without hesitation. Claudia lunged forward. You can't just... This isn't... You're ruining everything. But 2 security officers stood already blocking her path. Rowan closed the folder slowly. Meeting adjourned. 3 days after the confrontation, the world woke up to a story that shook the aviation industry. SkyVista Airlines released a statement, not sanitized, not softened, not strategic, but honest, public, and raw. The headline alone detonated across every major outlet. SkyVista acknowledges pattern of discriminatory seating practices, commits to reform after incident involving investor Alana Pierce. Thousands of comments flooded instantly, millions of views within hours. Inside her apartment, Alana sat by the window, sipping tea, watching the sunrise cast soft gold across the skyline. Her phone buzzed nonstop. Reporters, activists, aviation leaders, investors. She ignored all of them. She wasn't doing interviews, not yet. This wasn't about fame. It was about truth. But the world had already taken her story and turned it into a movement. Inside SkyVista's training facility, dozens of flight attendants, supervisors, and pilots sat in a large conference room. The lights dimmed. A new mandatory workshop began. Bias in the cabin, identifying discrimination and power misuse. On the screen appeared simple words. Inspired by the courage of Alana Pierce. Attendants whispered to one another. That's the girl from the flight. She handled it better than anyone else would have. I didn't know she was an investor. I feel terrible. We all have to do better. For the first time, SkyVista employees saw not a distant corporate investor, but the human being who had endured humiliation in their cabin. The trainer, a black woman with years of experience, stepped forward. We are not here to point fingers, she said. We are here to create change. And if you're ready to change how passengers of color are treated on your flights, begin by understanding this. Dignity is not optional. Nods filled the room. A shift was happening, a large one. Claudia was nowhere near a training room. She sat inside her father's mansion, curtains drawn, phone buzzing with alerts she didn't want to read. Every headline carried her name. Merritt heiress accused of targeted harassment. Apex Air under scrutiny. After daughter's racial profiling incident, Claudia Merritt caught manipulating airline staff. Her father paced in front of her. "Do you have any idea the damage you caused?" he snapped. Claudia trembled. "I didn't know she was—" "That's exactly the problem," he cut in. "You didn't need to know who she was. What you did was unacceptable." Claudia's voice cracked. "Dad, I thought you'd defend me." He stopped. "I can't defend racism, and I can't defend stupidity." His voice dropped low, expression tight. "Alana Pierce is about to reshape the aviation culture, and you nearly destroyed our company trying to sabotage her." Claudia covered her face with her hands and sobbed quietly, her empire of entitlement finally collapsing. Her father walked away. For the first time, Claudia felt the consequences of cruelty she had gotten away with her entire life. A week later, Alana attended a press conference, not as the victim, but as the architect of reform. Camera flashes burst like fireworks. She stood behind a podium with SkyVista executives flanking her, journalists buzzing like an arena of anticipation. A large banner hung behind her, the Pierce Dignity Initiative, A Foundation for Black Girls in Aviation and STEM. A voice from the crowd shouted, "Ms. Pierce, how do you feel about becoming the face of this movement?" Alana smiled gently. "I'm not the face," she said. "I'm just one of many who deserve dignity in spaces we've earned." Silence fell. Every reporter leaned in. "People think strength is loud," she continued. "But sometimes strength is choosing to stay calm when the world tries to humiliate you." She paused, steady. "And no one deserves humiliation. Not for their race, not for their background, not for their appearance, not ever." A reporter asked, "What kept you grounded during all this?" Alana lifted her phone, revealing her lock screen verse. "When you go through deep waters, I will be with you." Isaiah 43:2. "I wasn't alone," she said softly. "And the truth? It always rises." The room erupted in applause. 2 weeks later, Alana boarded a SkyVista aircraft. Not for war, but for witness. The welcome screen inside the cabin displayed her foundation logo. The attendants greeted her with warm, earnest smiles. Not performative, not fearful, but respectful. And in 4A, the seat once stolen, a small placard read, "Reserved for the Pierce Initiative. Beneficiary." A teenage black girl sat there nervously, hands twisting together, eyes wide with disbelief. Alana approached her. "Hi," she whispered. "You okay?" The girl nodded shakily. "I've never been in first class. I didn't think people like me could—" Alana knelt beside her, smiling gently. "You deserve to be here, not because of luck, not because of charity, but because you belong." Tears filled the girl's eyes. Passengers watched silently, moved. Alana whispered one more truth. "Someday you'll sit here not as a guest, but as the pilot." The girl laughed softly through tears. Alana took her seat across the aisle, letting the moment settle. Not victory by revenge, not victory by violence, but victory by restoration. The soft lights of the airport lounge shimmered against the glass as the last flight of the evening prepared to board. The world had changed rapidly in the weeks since that infamous day. Policies reformed, training renewed. SkyVista reshaped its culture from the skeleton up. The Pierce Dignity Initiative spread like wildfire through the industry. But tonight, Alana wasn't thinking about news cycles or board meetings. She was thinking about 14-year-old Jayla Barnes, the first beneficiary of her foundation, the girl she'd met in 4A. Jayla stood beside her now, wearing a tiny aviation pin on her sweater, her eyes bright with a mixture of nerves and awe. "You sure I'm allowed to be up there?" Jayla asked quietly. Alana smiled. "You're not just allowed, Jayla. You were invited." Jayla exhaled, her shoulders relaxing just a little. The gate agent approached with a gentle smile. "Ms. Pierce, they're ready for you." Alana nodded. Together, she and Jayla walked down the jet bridge. Cameras flashed more quietly than before. This moment wasn't for publicity. It was for history. The plane's cabin glowed with a warm golden light. A new plaque stood beside the door. This aircraft participates in the Pierce Dignity Initiative, ensuring every passenger is treated with respect and equality. Jayla paused to touch it. "Wow," she whispered. "That has your name on it." Alana shook her head. "It has your future on it." The attendants greeted them with genuine warmth, smiles not forced, not wary, but grounded in the training they had undergone. "Welcome aboard, Miss Jayla," one said. "Your seat is right this way." The cabin parted for her, passengers offering smiles of encouragement. Jayla walked past them with wide eyes. Seat 4A waited, pristine, bright, symbolic. Jayla turned to Alana. "This was where it all happened?" Alana nodded. "Where a battle was fought," she said softly, "but also where a promise began." Jayla slid into the seat, her small hands brushing the armrests reverently. "I feel different here," she admitted. Alana crouched beside her, voice warm. "That's because this seat used to make someone feel small," she whispered. "But now, it's used to lift someone else." Jayla blinked quickly, tears forming. "Do you think I can really be a pilot one day?" Alana smiled gently. "Jayla, you were born to fly." As Alana settled into 4B, intentionally beside Jayla instead of in front, she looked out the window at the runway glowing beneath the dusky sky. The world felt quiet, still, at peace. The captain's voice filled the cabin. "Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you aboard Flight 217. Before we begin taxi, we'd like to extend a special greeting to Miss Jayla Barnes, the inaugural scholar of the Pierce Dignity Initiative." Passengers applauded warmly. Jayla covered her face, overwhelmed. Alana squeezed her hand. The captain continued. "This flight represents more than a journey. It represents change, respect, equality. May we rise on wings not only of metal, but of dignity." Another soft wave of applause. Jayla whispered, "He said dignity, like it's normal now." "That's because you're part of making it normal," Alana said. As the engines hummed and the plane began to roll toward takeoff, Alana closed her eyes. Her mother's voice echoed in her memory. "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers, they will not overwhelm you." Isaiah 43:2. She had walked through humiliation. She had walked through the fire of injustice. But she was not burned. She was transformed. Her pain had become policy. Her humiliation had become healing. Her stolen seat had become a sanctuary for someone else. The plane lifted into the sky, smooth, powerful, unstoppable. Jayla looked out of the window, awestruck at the glowing city below. "This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen," she whispered. Alana nodded, watching the clouds rise to meet them. "Yes," she said softly. "And this time, we're rising together." If you have ever been pushed down, humiliated, underestimated, or treated as if you didn't belong, then Alana's story is proof that dignity can rise from the lowest place. A stolen seat became the birthplace of an entire movement, one that uplifted a new generation, healed old wounds, and reminded an entire industry that respect is not optional. From humiliation came courage, from injustice came reform, from cruelty came compassion, and from a single stolen seat came a future where every child, every passenger, every human being is treated with honor. That is the power of standing firm, of letting truth speak, of trusting that God goes before you even when the world pushes you back. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. When Alana remembered this, she didn't just reclaim her dignity, she rebuilt it into something greater. Her story is a reminder to you too. Your seat in life is not determined by the opinions of others. It is determined by the purpose God placed within you. If this story moved your heart, inspired your courage, or reminded you of your own worth, Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay with Dignity Voices for more stories that shine light, restore hope, and remind us who we truly are.